A new expansion for Infinity has arrived.
Spiky bits.
So the latest expansion for Corvus Belli's hit Infinity the Game has arrived. And actually, it was announced back in October, but finally started hitting shelves, I don't know, last month or so. We got our hands on some preview copies to show you guys from them, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's get it out there. Now, there is a bunch more releases out for January, February, and March. Actually, has already been announced, but this is a great starting point if you've been, looking to check out a new game, perhaps a skirmish type game. Now, they have announced that there might be something big coming, but besides the point, let's just focus on what's at hand here. So Infinity, if you haven't heard about it, it's a 20 millimeter kind of scale skirmish game. It's near future. It's kind of faux manga style where you're going to see a lot of factions in here that you recognize, and there's actually a lot of historical figures and things in here as well that you recognize. But overall, it's pretty quick. It's a very brutal game, D20 based. For about $80, you can pick up a starter set, and we've shown you that here in the past. Most recent being the Coldfront starters. This is an expansion for it right here. But $80, you can kind of get 2 factions. You can check it out. Comes with a mini rulebook. The rules actually are free downloads. I'm going to show you here in a second on their website. Now, the third offensive is their latest expansion book here, and it comes with a limited edition Freedom Fighter figure, which is pretty well sculpted. I was really surprised when I was looking at this. I was like, wow, that's really well done. A nice little alien duder, I guess, resident of Paradiso. Paradiso, it's the return to Paradiso. This is the third offensive. So the combined, which is kind of like, to put it in 40k terms, like, I don't know, Tyranids that stand up. they're I don't know, I guess maybe they're more like the Protoss from StarCraft. It's really hard to explain. You just kind of got to get into the universe here. So they're breaking through, and they're breaking through all the cordons, and they're landing on the planet, and they're going after one of the bases for some unknown reason. Apparently the answer's in here. I haven't read through the book yet, so I don't really know. But, it's a great looking book. All their graphics and everything are very well done. You've got lots of backstory on the new fire teams and the sectorial armies. There's been a couple changes to some of the Pano and some of the combined arms rules-wise. I don't specifically know. Just kind of keep loose tabs on the game here. I haven't played it in a number of years, but I was like looking at the minis, and I watched Keyline Prime paint up a lot of them on Twitch, so it's always fun. So the new book, if you were lucky enough to get the book with the figure, I think it was $44.95. And then these are some of the new releases that came along with it. They're probably old by now, but that's okay. You've got this Pano sectorial force right here, and I think this one was $39.95, and then kind of like 2 little fire teams in this Coldfront starter. I'm going to show you here over on the site. You got 2 little opposing forces. You got the Ariana, which are kind of like the OG humans with their low tech, but that's very effective. And then you got the Aleph, which is a relatively new faction for the game, past couple of years, and they're kind of like AI constructs, but they always seem to be ladies for some reason, or robots, or lady robots. I don't know how that works, but anyways, very cool looking minis. We'll unbox those here in a second, but let's jump over to the site and show you some stuff. Okay, so here is Corvus Belli's InfinityTheGame.com. That's where you can check out pretty much anything there is to know about Infinity. They have articles on here. They've got the tournament system, the ITS. You can get the resources and downloads right here. You can see the current rule set. N3 came out in 2017, but there's been some changes as well. So all this is free downloads. Like I said, $80 to get into the game. You need paints and everything, glue like you would normally need. But if you're looking for something different and a nice, cool little refresher, an aperitif, so to speak, you might want to check out Infinity. It's actually pretty dope. So that's their main website right here. And like I said, I could spend hours just showing you all the cool stuff on here. March releases coming out. Here's some of their February releases too. We don't have any of that stuff to show you. Just the last kind of big expansionary push here. Now, as far as the stuff we have showed you, that's their store, which you can get to at the very top tabs there. This was the Pan-O Sectoria pack that we just showed you right there, and there's some of the models, some of the breakdown. Of course, you always had your specialists like your hackers and things. $39.95. You can order it from Infinity the Game. It's in euros. They're not going to jack you on the price and the conversions or anything. Of course, you can always get the stuff here in the States from Miniature Market, or anybody else that retails the stuff here. It's pretty easy to find here in the States, which is pretty cool. Then you've got the book itself, where it's going to give you all the details and everything. Actually, there's not a whole lot of details in here, but it's $44.95. And then the new little Fire Team double box Beyond Coldfront. That is the 2-player starter, and there's actually 2 of them, I think. For 80 bucks, not too bad. If you're thinking about getting into the game, splitting it with a friend, getting the rule book, getting all the minis, 80 bucks ain't bad when we talk about entry level for any game out there, even if it's skirmish level. So not a bad deal at all. You can check out all that over at Infinity. Thegame.com. The store is actually going to be store.corvusbelly.com, the manufacturer of the game. So to the minis themselves, if you're not familiar with this stuff, once you open it up, it's going to come in a nice little cardboard box here, and there's going to be some foam padding and stuff in it. And sometimes they come in baggies. Sometimes the smaller ones are always going to come in baggies, but the bigger stuff probably isn't. And there's a nice little tag right there that tells you kind of who assembled it. So if you're missing some parts, hit them up. They'll get you taken care of. But pretty much everything for each figure should be in one of these little baggies. And there's one of the Ariana duders right there, kind of doing his Captain Morgan pose. So we're not going to take a closer look at those. But I do want to show you this. Anytime you're messing, and you don't see this a lot because, you know, we're working with pewter here, which really isn't as prevalent these days. But the reason you know that you get a good cast out of pewter is some of these areas right here, which you can kind of see, like some of the little extra flashing right there. That means there was a good injection into the mold. And if you want to trim all this off, obviously you pull it off right there, but grab you a nice metal file, which Army Painter actually has a bunch of these that you can get in a set, and a lot of their hobby little accessories there. But what you're going to do, if you're not used to working with pewter miniatures, once you kind of pull that off, you want to kind of file down the spot that it was, the burr, so to speak, and you only go in one direction with these files. It's very important. A lot of people go back and forth. That'll actually serrate your minis, so just make sure that you get you a nice good file. I like the triangular one because you can get into little areas and has a nice flat surface there, and just slowly playing across the burr until it isn't there anymore. Very easy. One little drawback for Infinity miniatures are that they don't generally come with instruction manuals, so you're gonna have to look at the provided illustrations and kind of figure it out for yourself. And pewter is, you know, it's a soft metal inherently, so it's going to take a little work. I was able to figure out, oh, hey, this just goes together like this and it sits flush, but it's probably going to need a little bit more work in that gap right there. And then you've got the extra piece right here, but that's not all the pieces. You got extra pieces right here. So this isn't like for children, like for real. You know, make sure that you understand, if you want to check this out, that it requires a little bit of modeling skill that might be on par to working with forge-rolled resin, but it's not undoable, and it's what we used to have to do as hobbyists 10-15 years ago with Games Workshop. So it's not out of the realm of possibility at all. It's just a little bit more hobby hard mode than you might be used to. Now, don't let that detract you from wanting to actually get into this, the Infinity hobby, and play with these miniatures. This is the Pano Sectorial, the new one here. And this, I mean, this kit is only 3 models. And I mean, like, who cares if you don't have instructions? It's really easy to put together and figure out, you know what I mean? So for in a lot of cases, it's not like that's it. It just glues together. It'll take more time to clean it up than actually assemble it right there. And to that point, let me show you this. So we went ahead and put together their sergeant leader guy right here, who looks pretty badass. I don't know what it is about these guys, but they're all doing the Captain Morgan stance, which is pretty cool, with their gun right there. Now the light is obviously reflecting off it because this is metal. It's, you know, it's white metal. It's pewter basically, and it's very good quality. It's all cleaned up. You know, there's a little bit of curve to the barrel right there, but the cool thing about white metal is, oh hey, oh man, let me just bend that back. Oh, there we go. Super easy. A lot of easy to fix. Now this is, like I said, 28 mil. So compared to like something like a desk Imperial Guardsman, you know, you're looking at about the same size. You know, it's an armored dude and some armor, as opposed to a flak jacket or something like this guy here. Mr. Primaris Space Marine is obviously bigger because he is a meta-human. So if you're looking for the scale compared to the Warhammer hobby, well, there you kind of know. This is out of that Pano Sectorial. I think that one was $39.99 if I don't misspeak right here. And it's this guy right there on the top. So it is about 100% scale of what they, yeah, about what they show you. It might be a little bit bigger right there, but overall, I think Infinity Game is definitely worth checking out if you need a little refresher, need a nice little skirmish game. Plays easy, sets up easy. Most of the stuff you need is free. The rulebook itself, if you do want to pick it up, it's going to come with all the cardboard cutouts and things that you're going to need, the blast templates and things. You can always upgrade and buy acrylics and get all crazy with it. That's any game out there. But for entry level game, I think it's definitely worth checking out for you. If you like near future, if you like manga, if you like, you know, real world kind of pop culture into your hobby, then it might be worth a look at Infinity. And they just came out with, like I said, a brand new expansion for it and lots of new releases here in early 2019. So now is as great a time as ever to check out Infinity the game for sure, from of course Corvus Belli right there. So that's it for this one. Thank you for watching this unbox and build of the new I would say 2018 releases, the new expansion for Infinity the game. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.